You are listening to HDUB Power 105.com.
Good afternoon. My name is Stephen McGhee. I'm the superintendent of schools of Harperwood School District, and I would like to welcome you to NGR, Next Generation Readiness. I have two dynamic guests with me today. Our Mayor, Kindle. How you doing?
I'm doing absolutely great.
Thank you for being here. And Mrs. Foreman, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
So literally, what I would like for you all to do, since it's really your first time together in this platform, to give a brief introduction of yourself, and you're going to dive into the topic, which is entrepreneurship in the 21st century. Okay? So, Mayor.
Want me to go first? Okay. Good afternoon. I am Mayor Valerie Kindle. I'm the mayor of Harperwood, and I've been the mayor for, this is my second term. Originally came from the east side of Detroit, but I moved here, and when I came here, I decided to stay involved in the community, which is something that's very important. If you're going to live somewhere, you need to be involved in your community, not let other folks make decisions for you. That's my motto. But I've been here for over 23 years, and I like it. I really like it. And I have been mayor since 2020, and I've been able to bring new development to our community. And my counterpart, Superintendent Dr. McGhee, we are first in our respective fields, you know, and one day will come when we won't be, it'd be important to say that we are first, that it would be just a normal happening. But right now, we have the ownership of being the first out here in our community. And I want to also thank our football team for being the first.
Yes.
For Harperwood, the first time that they've ever had a regional champion for football.
Thank you for being there.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic.
Shift
that real quick.
But it's really. So that's my take on. I'm not a public. I'm a public servant and not a politician, because my desire and hope is to improve the quality of life for everyone in my community. So I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. There's no filters to me. Sometimes I need a filter, I think. But if you talk with me, you find that it is with respect and honesty. It's what you get.
Yeah. Thank you, Ms. Foreman.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ms. Foreman. I am an instructor at the high school. I teach 2D and graphic design over there. This is year 2 for me. So I'm kind of getting in the groove of things still, but I enjoy it. I love the kids.
So we were talking, we had a brief conversation before, talking about how is the program going in Middle 24, which is Enterprise Teaching Machine. And that's really not the topic, but what we were really talking about, I went back to just the interests of kids and students alike in that of business and entrepreneurship. I am a firm believer, and this is what I know about curriculum, okay? All across America, it doesn't matter if it's in urban, rural, or suburban, the curriculums that we have across America are not generally connected to that of children of color. That is not a phenomenon. That's not a big secret. I think if you continue to go down the same curriculum lane and thinking you're going to get something different, is a misnomer. Okay? That's why I'm so grateful to my board that they've allowed me to bring that. They've allowed me to build the CCI Center. That we have the construction trades, we have real estate, we have non-traditional programs, what I call skills that pay the bills.
So, that's a good one.
Yeah, right. And that's what it comes down to. I'm looking at my students now. I know for a fact that when you graduate, I know that you're articulate, I know that you're smart, you have the ability to go to Harvard, Yale, Michigan, wherever it is. But just know that when you leave here, you're going to leave with a skill that will pay you for the rest of your life. And that's what the premise is. The W.E.B. Du Bois talked about the tale of the 10th, George Washington Carver and Frederick Douglass, they all talked about that of the 90 percentile. What about the 90 percentile? Guess what? Out of that 10% that goes to college, only 3% finishes.
Right.
And those are national norms. So it's really what about the other 97% of our children? And we're talking about children of color, more so than anything else. So mind you, it is my job, it is my level of endearment to introduce curriculum that will open tomorrow's doors and the day after tomorrow. Okay? And I will continue that process. I'm not rooted in traditional curriculum. Make no mistake about it. I'm not. Because I know that our children have to be prepared to operate in a global society, and they have to have a level of autonomy and to be able to control their own destiny. And always working for someone is not going to give you that autonomy. Ownership will give you autonomy. Financial literacy and how to manage your life and your lifestyle will give you the autonomy that you need in order for you to leave a legacy. So the topic today is entrepreneurship. So you said this is your second year, right?
Yes.
So more so than anything else, like what are you most proud of?
I would say to see the growth in the students from when I came last year, I came mid-October, and to see just the engagement in the classroom is different. Their behaviors have changed because they actually learn something that they want to learn and that they have a desire to learn. They're understanding it better and the relationship that I'm building with them. I think that's what I'm most proud of.
That's major. So as mayor, we talked about new development. We were watching these buildings that are they come to us prefab, and they've erected these buildings. They're shelves now, but they're filling them in. You know, and it's with no haste and with the quickness. It changed within a year. The landscape, you know, you made the comment, you know, that in time we'll be able to come back. We won't be just the first, you know, being abnormal becomes normal because we've already paid that pass. But see these buildings, what do you think about the landscape of Harper Woods and entrepreneurship and business?
Well, one good thing about that is that the company that's owning those buildings are willing to work with our children. They want to show them the steps at every level of their business, which is a first, which is good, which is something that we as African Americans don't necessarily always have.
That's all right. So to understand where you are, you in the house of HDUB. You get to speak your mind. You got to speak your mind and your heart.
And you know, I always do. I always speak. I'm so comfortable being in your presence and hear that I can speak and say what I want to say, because I believe that you have been the visionary that has come to Harper Woods, that has taken our school district to a whole different level. And it's for our Black children. Now, we bring, you know, we're not discriminating, but for once, the focus is on educating our next generation of Black children. No one has that in the forefront before. I've never, that is why the kinship between you and I have grown so much, is because I honestly know that this is your desire. And being that I came from delinquency, and you know, primarily my children were kids of color, and I always saw that they were dropped off or left off at the third, fourth grade, and then just trying to fit themselves within the system, and then they always end up with crime. And of course, this is what society wanted, was to make them the avenue for prison, for these prisons that they were building that were privately owned.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so glad that I met you and your desires and your vision for education of our Black kids, and especially our young Black men. If we give them the desire to do something special with their lives, they can't help but succeed.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the premise. You know, when we're talking about the new development,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to mention with my board that in the second semester that I have a state of the district address. Within the confines of that, it's called academic economic clusters. Those academic economic clusters will focus on, say, a particular company that's housed in one of those buildings.
Mm-hmm.
We will look at all of the different career pathways that they offer under that umbrella, partner with them,
Mm-hmm.
and align our curriculum to it, K through 12. And so, which has never been done before. But the premise is this, that they are developing their own next customer.
Thank you.
They're aligning them to technology and that readily that's not available to any school district across America.
Mm-hmm.
But also you're preparing them for what's next beyond the workforce to that of business and entrepreneurship, okay, and ownership. So all of those things begot one another. Bringing those partners together, essential stakeholders together in one room,
Mm-hmm.
listening to the vision,
Mm-hmm.
and then finding like a blanket that has a tapestry. Where do we fit in order to build an opportunity grid for children? And that's what the next move is. And you know, I wrote it a while back. I just, you know, now it's getting to that point where it's time to release it. That's why this entrepreneurship piece is so important. It's like pivotal, you know. So just having both of you out here and, you know, just you're talking about that youth enthusiasm and the knowledge and wisdom. Once they meet, it's a whole nother thing going on. Yeah, and have to be willing. Yeah, and that's the thing.
And when she said that the relationships with the children, when you have someone that care whether you learn or not,
That's it.
it is unmeasurable because you have someone that believe in you, and you may have someone that someone's telling you you're an idiot and whatever all day long, but you come to this one person and they say they believe in you.
Yeah.
That's immeasurable.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. We need that in our school district. We need that in our educational system, because if someone believes in you, you sort of pop out your chest and, you know, feel good about yourself. You get that swag, you know, because you believe that someone believes in you. And I think that's been very neglectful in our educational system.
Yeah, and it's systemic across the board. You know, it's nothing new. You know, COVID brought out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It you know, and now we're trying to recover and regain the losses under COVID, but we have to also fill in, and I call it ascender and descender knowledge. So you have a line of mediocrity that's right here. You got descender, when you have to pull up from the depths,
Right.
i.e. your bootstraps, just to be equal. And then you have ascender, which is the trajectory of where you can go.
Right.
And we're filling in, trying to come in from a descent. You know, and we really have to do it with quickness and in haste with this particular generation. More so than that. Right. Yeah.
You don't pinch it.
But that's the thing, though. That's why I enjoy TikTok. And say, you know why? Because it's in snippets. It's in snippets, and you get right, and then you get to repeat it. You don't get it that time, you get to repeat it, and you get to do it within your own time. You know, I want curriculum almost to be like that. You know, because you get it in snippets. You get it the first time, you move on to the next. You don't get it that time. Okay, let's go right back. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. It's all right. Only time. It's something about the other side of pain is success.
Right.
The other side of failure is success. Many times people just don't want to go through it.
Right.
You know, they fall short. You know, they haven't been pushed to the limit before. You know, so, you know, this, you know, we're talking about entrepreneurship, but we're also talking about what goals. Because within entrepreneurship, you have to have thick skin. You know, and you have to be able to persevere and endure. You know, so as a young entrepreneur, because you said you do a lot of, I saw the basketball course, things that we were talking about. Just tell me some of the trials and tribulations you've gone through, and you're still standing.
One of the biggest things I would say is my age. I feel like, well, not anymore because I've kind of gotten a swag by myself that I really feel like I'm that. So
Okay.
a lot of people can't, in the beginning it was kind of like, oh, we never heard your name before. So it was always a look over my work. They would never look at it. They would never, it would just be like, okay, we'll get back to you. I know they didn't look at the stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I've kind of gotten to the point where once I got my foot in the room, it was nothing nobody could tell me. So I'm big on that with my students. I tell them like, you're going to get a lot of no's, but it just takes that one yes. So just don't give up. So I'm really, really big on bouncing back. I tell them every day, your graphics are not going to be state of the art coming out. It's not going to happen, but you just have to keep trying. So I think my biggest thing was my age. I'm African American. I have red hair. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that's not, typical or what it's supposed to look like, I'm the opposite. But once they sit down and look at my work, they're like, wow, where have you been? I've been here all this time. You know what I'm saying? So I would think that would be my biggest.
Yes, so, Mayor, your parallels with that,
Mine is with, I have so much experience, that people kind of poo-poo is be too old. It's a different scenario where my growth is that I'm able to partner in between both. Now I'm not quite on the TikTok and I'm not so strong on social media, but when I talk the word, when I meet the person, then I have a kindership, and that's something that you can never, ever, ever take away. That one-on-one conversation with someone can make all the difference in the world. Just yesterday, I had an opportunity to meet with the senator, and I think we're going to do your parking lot and driveway.
There we go.
We'll be having a conversation later on this, probably sometime next month before they go back in session.
Okay.
But we were out there, and he says, well, can't we do the parking lot and the driveway? I said, we certainly can,
Yeah.
But it's also about, with me, it is the relationships that I have built through the years. I never try to burn a bridge. Maybe I fall out with someone, whatever, but we can disagree without being disagreeable. And that's an experience. That's experience where you learn to be a statement. We've somewhat lost that ability to be compromised, not to be compromised, but to be, what's the word where I want to say, we work together, and even if I don't agree with all your ideas, but if I have enough of your ideas that we can find something to be a happy medium,
Yes.
that's where we work from. Not from where we disagree from, but where we can work together from and move on. I think that's an art that is being lost in today's society. And that's because we don't have one-on-one conversation a lot. We're really busy on our phones and texting and everything. It gets to the point that sometimes I tell people, stop texting. I'm calling you. I can talk to you because I can hear in your voice whether you're sincere or not.
Right.
I can see in your body language whether you're trying to gaslight me or not. That's an art that will never be replaced by technology.
Right.
And we need to recognize that and keep it going forward. So that's basically my experience, as I said before. What you see is what you get. I am exactly as I am at all times. I sometimes talk too much, but okay, I always like to get my point across. But I also listen, and that's an art. It's to be able to listen and disseminate the information that you're receiving before you try to answer.
Yeah, I think that's, thank you for that. I was thinking about what you were saying. We have to talk about different anomalies. I call them anomalies, and different spectrums. And I think in education, and I said this to my colleagues, I've said it in multiple locations, they talk about the achievement gap. Okay. And when they talk about the achievement gap, they're really talking about academics. Okay. It's not that our children are not intelligent. It's not that they don't have potential. It's not the achievement gap. It's called an opportunity gap. The opportunity deals with resources, equitable resources, diversity, equity, and full inclusion. And they use the word minority a lot. The word minority means to minimize. It doesn't even matter what context you use it. So for me, growing up as a kid in DPS, I never heard that word, not one time. I was always the cream of the crop. It didn't matter. Then with me going to a HBCU, I never heard the word. So all of my education, my formative years and the years being trained in getting my degree, both of my degrees from A&M initially, I never heard the word minority. I never heard the word second or third or fourth. It was always the one. So when you were saying they kind of question your ability because of those anomalies, I couldn't even conceive that. The first time I heard that word is when I started working for the Pentagon, and at the highest point, that's when I heard it, and it just bounced off my shoulder because it didn't apply to me because that's how I was trained, and that's really what I want for our kids. It's like we have to continue to build this opportunity bridge for them. Optimal. When people come to the CCI Center in certain places in the district, they just say, "Oh my God!" I said, "Yeah, this is what all of our kids deserve. All kids deserve this. It can't be based off your zip code or the taxes you pay. It has you. You have to provide opportunity for all children."
Thank you. As I said before, I worked with juvenile delinquents, and I became of the mindset when I first was introduced there. My colleagues, which were Caucasians, were allowing the children to do whatever they wanted to do. No respect, calling them by their first names and stuff. I said, hold up, no, I have children this age. You're not gonna call me by my first name. I'm Miss Kendall to you. From this point on, you address me as that. Well, I can talk to Judy and John. I said, it doesn't matter, because in order for you to understand my position as your teacher here, you have to give me the respect that I'm going to give you. And you are never on the same level as I am.
Right.
For respectability in order to have order. So I say that to say that is one of the reasons why I am so proud of you continuing with open. See, when they started School of Choice, it was not about to make it better for our children, our Black children. It was about the money. But when you came on board, you came with the idea of educating our Black young people to be the best that they could be. See, I was here when it was time when it was all white. I was here basically all white, maybe 2% Black. But the principals and the superintendent and all would be outside when the kids was dismissing. And then one day I was driving by and, no principal, no superintendent. Oh, but it was beginning to flip and change because they had decided to make it a school of choice.
Yeah.
So they didn't need to watch where the kids were going. They didn't need to watch to make sure there was because they didn't care.
Yeah.
All they cared about was the fact that the money was coming in for those children that they allowed to come into the system. So when Dr. McGhee came, it was about the education of those children and not just for the money.
You know, and just, putting resources where resources are needed. Being a great steward of taxpayer dollars, but putting resources where resources are needed and being flexible and valuable with that. We required the CCI and that and all of the different programs, but the premise of it, is children, but those children that are connected to programs, business and entrepreneurship, finance, all of the areas that will allow them a middle class lifestyle.
Thank you.
That's it right there. I can't be any more poignant than that. The curriculum, and this is right now, Dr. Carruthers is working on curriculum for me with the committee K2. Okay. And one of the requirements of that is that we have diversity, equity, and full inclusion, but also AI within the context of that. The first grade and second grade class at Beacon, they're the class of 2034 and the class of 2035. Yeah, that sounds. Curriculum would have changed 30 times over. So you really have to put in a curriculum that has a trajectory of 7 to 10 years in order to be effective. That's why it's a longer process. And you also have within the context of that the content has to support children that look like, walk like, and talk like customers that we are engaging and educating. The things that we're saying are not an anomaly. They're not a secret. It's all across the board. What has to happen is you have to have enough courage to walk it. And that's what this journey is right now. That's literally what this is. Look around you. That's what this is. It hadn't happened before. We have to maintain it so the process continues. And when you're talking about the art of agreeing or disagreeing and still being amenable, because the country has become so polarized. It's either my way you believe, or you don't believe, and if you don't believe my way, you shouldn't be here.
Right.
But that's not the premise of what this is.
No.
More so than anything else. So we've come a long way. We've come a long way to go still. We got a ways to go. But
you eat an elephant one bite at a time.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we have to keep doing what we do.
Keep it going. We're doing pretty well. So do you all have any questions of me or anything?
She's looking at me.
Yeah. You the newbie.
I know, I'm like,
You the newbie.
I guess one of my questions would be, where do you see the school district in the next 5 years?
The next 5 years, literally, when we talking about the academic economic clusters, that's the next one. So the academic economic clusters are a partnership between that of the school district, industry, and post-secondary education, okay, K through 12. And the premise of that is that, say you take a General Motors or Stellantis, you meet with the stakeholders of those organizations. You look at their organizational structure. You look at all the career pathways that they have under that organizational structure, which is called an all-inclusive. So they'll have graphics, they'll have engineering, they'll have logistics, they'll have multiple careers. How do we align those careers with the curriculum K-12? Okay? Once you align that with the curriculum K-12, you're creating an opportunity for those children, not only from an academic standpoint, but also from an economic standpoint. Academic, economic, C cluster, which is really more than one business. It could be General Motors, Ford, Chrysler, Stellantis, Henry Ford, whomever. Okay, those kids who want to go into the health field, that your pathway needs to be under Health and Human Services, K-12. You say, oh, what if they change their mind? Well, you always have an off ramp. You know, I want to slip off into technology. I have an off ramp. I want to go off into performing arts. I want to go off into engineering. You'll always have an off ramp. But what you have to do is take advantage of the industries that are around you, that are at that economic level, but also that technology level, because what they're dealing with is what's next. Amazon and all those others, and drones and robots and AI, all of that is what's next.
Right.
Okay. So can we arbitrarily just afford to bring it into the school system, or should we bring that industry into the school? And take the school into the industry and develop the opportunity bridge. That's what it is, more so than anything else, where educators have an opportunity to go in the industry and they get trained, and industry comes in and they train educators in order to better educate children on what's next. The next 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, because it's going to continue to change. You know, these cell phones. I'm talking about, you know, what's the latest model of this Apple? 15 now?
The X.
Is it 15?
But the new one's a 15.
Yeah, well, guess what? It's going to 25 or 30, whatever it is. You know, so as it continues to shift, you know, those industries bringing that level of education into the walls where students are being educated. And then also we're going to move into virtual reality and avatar, where kids will be at home or at a third-party location where they will be able to physically come into a school as an avatar and be educated and talk to their peers and talk to a teacher at the same time, and then garner their lesson or their experience, whatever their educational experience, and be able to carry on with the rest of their day. It's going to happen. You know, so yeah.
If you say so, I know you're the visionary.
I definitely see it. I was just on Instagram and I saw it was like a AI robot at a baseball game. And they were like, is that really a robot? Like, y'all don't understand. Like, other countries, they're already doing it.
It's
It's already done.
It's there.
And it's amazing.
Yeah. So I mean, there's so many different opportunities on the horizon that we have to, you know, we're still trying to come out of the descent level. You know, those years from that. And so we're introducing a new curriculum now, which is Black History 360. Okay. And we're hoping to have it launched by second semester. We're being that now, so to speak. Okay. But this is the first book that I've seen as an educator that will be in full circulation that talks about Black history before slavery.
Okay.
Before
slavery.
Okay. That's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother. So mind you, so with that alone being introduced, but then you start looking at what education has the opportunity to become: real estate agency, financial literacy, insurance, all these different avenues that are out there that will allow students to be certified before they graduate without going to college. My thing is this: we know this, that the debt that you go into attempting to be educated, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt. It's almost a house. Okay. And then you turn and you're obligated to that. Like, why do we continue to go down that pathway? We have to create other avenues. So if you become a valuable entity to an organization by middle school because of the academic economic cluster partnership, they will invest in you and send you to school.
Right.
There are other avenues that we should be taking. I say it's like a football analogy. You have 4 quarters in your life. First quarter is from 0 to 25. Okay, those are your formative years. You know, from that adolescence, teenage years to young adulthood. When you move from 26 to 50, you're in the second half of your life already. And the second half of your life is predicated off the choices and decisions that you made the first half of your life. In between that, you got halftime.
Yeah.
At halftime, you should reflect and adjust and readjust I'm talking to you for a reason. I'm looking you dead in your eyes for a reason. You must adjust the game plan, readjust, and reflect. Stop, pause, and think if you're not going in the right direction. You need to shift and pivot, okay? Because life is not promised. The average expectancy of life for people of color is between 74 and 76. Okay, so at halftime, you're going from 51 to 76 in the third quarter. If you get past 76 and get to between 76 and 100, you almost in overtime. Think about it. That's why you have to make the right choices from 0 to 25.
Yeah.
That's why you have to, literally be around the right individuals. If you are the smartest one in the group, you're in the wrong group.
Right.
If you're the most profitable in the group, you're in the wrong group. You have to always be challenged. You have to always be challenged to move to the next trajectory. And as long as you're doing that and you're moving in the wrong direction, you're moving in the right direction. And just know that everybody can't go with you.
That's true.
They can't. Everybody, is levels to this. And everybody doesn't have the same trajectory. It's the difference between giraffes and turtles. It's a big difference. So I don't know how much time we actually have. Where are we with our time? We got, 10 minutes. Okay, great. So I said a lot of different things, but one thing that I left off with was giraffes and turtles. And I know when I'm in the presence of giraffes, okay, because we have a congruent conversation. They ask the right questions, I answer questions, and then it's vice versa. And I know that I'm in the room of giraffes now. But I also know when I'm in the presence of turtles. I know it. I can tell from the conversation. I can tell from the demeanor. I can tell from the lack of aspiration. I can tell from just the day-to-day humdrum. You can't allow people to become a succubus because they'll drain you of what you have as a giraffe. You'll find yourself metamorphosing from something 26 feet tall to something that's just barely scraping the ground. Okay? I'm glad that you are on the other side of that camera because I can really say what I want to say to you, directly. I want to thank you, Kindle. We have a great partnership. We have a great kinship and friendship. I thank you for that.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
It's when I first met you, it was at the homecoming game. I got the invitation. All the homecoming games and songs I've been on city council. That was the first invite that I had to come to the homecoming game. I pass by every day because I live not far from here. I mean, right around the corner. Okay, Hopper Woods is 2.6 miles, so everything is close. But it was the class. It was the expectation that our kids deserved to be honored with class. And that was what he put out a spread for the homecoming game. Never done before. And everyone was in awe because I'm the only black person there from city. Everyone else was in awe, like, oh, wow. But it showed me that I was dealing with a man of class and vision. And I wanted to know more. And our relationship has grown from that to now. And we respect each other. I don't think we had many disagreements, but if we did, we would know how to handle it without a lot of fanfare and falling out. Because we respect each other. And I respect the idea that he is a man that wants to educate our next generation of black young people. I've never seen it before. Even working with the school district in Detroit, not being disparaging, but there was no one there with the real vision for the overall betterment for all our children. And this is what I find here. I get it all the time. People come into city council and complain about the school district. Go to the school district. They're doing what they're doing. Who else in this area had 100% graduation? Excuse me? And you talking about the education of our children? No. You have a complaint that's your own personal, generally racist complaint.
Yeah.
And I just won't tolerate it.
No.
So I appreciate you on so many different levels. Your whole family, your wife is beautiful. It's been just like I've added a couple of children more to my
Thank you.
my family because I feel like it's a family thing, and it's because you care.
Yeah.
And that's makes me very happy.
I would have to agree. There, when I first came, I think it was like a PD we had, and you were talking about the time to 10th and the opportunity bridge. I think that's what I was just like, okay, because it was a not a personal thing, but it was a thing going on with my in-house thing. I was like, I'm about to leave. I'm not dealing with this, But I was like, to work for, because I can go anywhere, and teach, but to work where you're appreciated and work where your input matters, that definitely makes me want to come to work because there's a lot of different school districts. It's just like, what's going on there? Like, no. So it's definitely an honor. When I got the invite, I was like, oh, okay, me, you know who I am? Not saying like that, but there's so many people who cannot say that they have one-on-one conversations with their superintendent, that they're present in the building on a daily basis. That just does not happen.
No.
So.
Thank you, bro. So look, Friday, we're having our 5th annual turkey dinner giveaway. I want to thank Ms. Phillips back there. She did a great job. Literally from 1 until 4. We changed it from Saturday. Now Saturday is we're going to visit the Goodrich Martians. They might as well get ready. It's going down. I can put it any other way. I'm trying to hold my seat. As a former football coach, that's the first team that I ever played. And
oh really?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be
special. I'm trying to. But this is about the turkey dinner giveaway for Friday from 1 until 4 here at the CCI Center, the College and Career Institute. We're giving away a full, of course, a turkey and a full dinner itself. Did a lot of shopping, sorting of cans and things of that nature. And I want to thank Ms. Phillips and Dr. Jaber and Ms. Gamblin and my school board, the community committee, Mrs. Hughes and Mr. and Mrs. Tavron, and of course my board president, Ms. Simmons, and all of the others. Ms. Menino, my stalwart, my ride or die, okay, and Mr. Jarvis as well. We finding commonalities, but come Friday from 1 until 4, please make your way over to the CCI Center. First come, first serve. Thank you all very much. Next Generation Readiness, Superintendent McGhee. Thank you.